Dear learners, in this lecture I am going to discuss the Nida's principles for identification of morphemes. So Nida discuss 6 principles to identify the morphemes in English. So you can apply that principles in many languages, means across the languages, to identify the morphemes. So there are different types of principles. So based on these principles, you can identify the morphemes in any language. So sometimes the morpheme is the free morpheme, sometimes the morpheme is the bond morpheme. But in the bond morpheme, we have different types of morphemes. So according to the meaning, so there is some distinctiveness in the grammatical form, but the meaning is same across the occurrence. So it would be the same morpheme. So we have different principles that we will discuss in this lecture. So that we all know that the morphemes is the basic notion or the foundation notion in the morphomic or the morphological analysis in linguistics. So it represents the smallest unit of language that carries independent semantic or grammatical meaning. So sometimes it has the semantic meaning, means the independent semantic meaning, and sometimes the bond morpheme has the grammatical meaning. So the Eugene Nida defines morpheme as if the minimalist or the minimal unit of language, means the minimal unit of language which carries some meaning. So underscoring its role as a fundamental building blocks of word formation. So we can form lots of words on the basis of those morphemes or by the addition of those morphemes. Similarly, the Boich describe it as the minimal linguistic unit with the lexical or the grammatical meaning. And Katamba defined it the smallest difference in word or sentence meaning or in grammatical structure. Means there is a, if you have the some differences in the structure, so it will change or it will occur across the grammatical structure or sentence meaning. Means the if you're adding some affixes, some prefixes, so they actually change the meaning. And these affixes and prefixes occurs in different words across the words. So on that basis we can determine it is a particular morpheme. So here we have the example like uh, re. So re can occur across the well, reopen, restart. So on that basis we can say that re is the particular morpheme. And we have many other definitions. So basically the morphemes are divided into 2 types. One is the free morpheme, which actually occur independently in a language, like the book, and like cat, like dog, like table. So these are the independent, these are the free morphemes. So they cannot be further divided, but independently they carry meaning. And on the other hand, the bond morphemes means they do not have the independent meaning, but they have the meaning in combination with other free morphemes. If you are adding like sa in any noun, so it gives the meaning of plural. If you are adding the ed in any verb, so it gives the meaning of past. If you are adding the ing in the any word, so it gives the meaning of progressive or continuous. So these are the 2 types of morpheme. So how we can determine or how we can identify these morphemes in a language? So Nida describes 6 principles for the identification of those morphemes in languages. And actually they are based, these principles mostly based on the semantic distinctiveness. Means there is some meaning uniqueness across the occurrence of the same morphemes. And there is a phonemic form. So sometimes we have the same phonemic form and sometimes we have the different occurrence or the different or the variation in the phonemic form. So that is called the distributional behavior of phonemic form according to the phonologically conditioned or grammatically conditioned. So in Urdu, so we discuss these 6 principles in terms of Urdu Hindi. So Urdu Hindi is a common language that we have already discussed. So in this particular lecture or in this particular paper, I'm not going to discuss the difference between the Urdu Hindi, but I'm just focusing on the similar example which actually we can find in both languages, Urdu and Hindi. And these examples are based on the common Hindustani based dialect. Sometime for some example purpose, we have taken some example from Persianized Urdu and sometime from the Sanskritized Hindi. So for the just elaboration of the examples. But normally we have taken the common words for the examples in this course. So we know that there the morphological structure or the morphological category and suffixation, prefixation are same in those languages, and they actually mark for the inflection, derivation. In inflection, they mark for gender, number, case, tense, and for the derivation, you can change by some prefixation from the noun to adjective, by some suffixation from adjective to nouns. And there are some allomorphic variation also. So allomorphic variation means when we have the different types of plural in Urdu Hindi, but the plural is conditioned by the phonology, but they define the same thing, the same meaning of plural. For example, for plural in Urdu, we have different marker or different suffixes. So if you have the ladka, so for making the plural like ladka, so it makes ladke. So here A is the plural. And when we have ladki, so for ladki, when it is the A ending, there is the E ending, so it is ladkiyan. So that is the ya ending. And when we have oblique like ladke ne, so it become ladke ne, so it become ladko ne. So here O is the plural. So we have three different variation of plural in Urdu. Like one is the A, one is the A, and second is Ya, and the third one is O. So these are the three different plural markers. So they are the allomorphs of the same morpheme, that is the plural morpheme, but their form is different. So we can call it the allomorphic variation. On that basis, we can say that it is the same morpheme, but it has different realization. So form is different, but the meaning is same. So that is the one morpheme, which is the plural morpheme in Urdu. So we have discussed the NIDA six principles in detail. So by the clear interpretation, English example, and parallel, we discussed the Urdu Hindi examples. So basically, the NIDA defines those principles on the basis of English examples. So we have taken those examples, and I try to give the same parallel example in Urdu Hindi for more understanding, or we can say that for the clear interpretation in Urdu Hindi. So, and these principles are universal morphological patterns, means they can apply for the identification of morpheme in any language. So, and they are language. So, some like patterns are language specific, but on all these bases, you can identify different morphemes across the different linguistic systems. So that is the first principle of NIDA for identification of morpheme. So in which the form which possesses a common semantic distinctiveness. So there are two main terms. One is the identical phonemic form, means the form is same, and the second is common semantic distinctiveness. So that means the meaning is also same in all their occurrence. So that is called the single morpheme. So like we have many examples. For example, we have in English we have ER. So it occurs in many words like dancer, painter, writer, trader. So in all these forms, it has the uniform meaning, and this that is called the semantic uniformity. Means the meaning is same in all their occurrence, and the form is same in all their occurrence, like ER, dancer, painter, writer, trader. So the principle first establishes the most fundamental criterion for identifying a morpheme. So according to the NIDA, a form qualifies a single morpheme if it consistently exhibit two properties across all the occurrence. So one is the common semantic distinctiveness. So that means the form must carry a stable, recognizable meaning or the grammatical function. So the function might be plurality, agency, comparison, or position. So it has the same types of grammatical function or the same meaning in all their occurrences if it occurs in many words, and it has the identical phonemic form. So that means the phonological structure must remain unchanged and unaffected by surrounding sound or the phonological context. So it is not changed across the words. So we have many examples. So we have the example like sa. So in many words like cats, beds. So in this sa has we have this same sa for the plural. So sa has size does not vary in the different words, and sa has the same meaning of plural in all the words. So that is the one morpheme which is sa. In the same way, we have the ing. So ing also having in many verbs for making is progressive or the continuous. So, so it does not change across the word, and it give the same meaning of progressive in the verb only when it is used in certain contexts. Sometimes it gives the meaning of like in the gerund it gives a different meaning, but we are talking about only in the progressive aspect in the verb. So it gives the same meaning. So that means if the form is same and the meaning is same in many words, so it is called this single morpheme. Like the er, it occurs in many words like painter, writer, trader, and like ing in occurs many words like walking, talking, writing, painting. So it gives the same meaning and same form, and the s in many words. So to verify the morphemic status, the NIDA suggests examine the paradigm sets of related words form. So the recurring form that contribute the same meaning across multiple instances qualifies as a single morpheme. So that means if the same form occurs in different words and it does not change its form, means the phonemic form, and it gives the same meaning in all these words, so it can be considered as one morpheme. But we have many other examples. So importantly, the identical phonemic sequence do not automatically represent a single morpheme unless they also share the consistent meaning. Means if the form is same and it occurs at the last, but it does not share the common meaning, so it cannot be a single morpheme. Like we have the example sister, weather. So here er or er has the same form and it occurs at the last, like in dancer, painter, and writer. But this is not the single morpheme because it does not give the same meaning. So in the dancer, like in dancer, in painter, in writer, so these er give the same adjective meaning, and sometimes the er also give the comparative meaning like taller and bigger. So this kind of meaning, so which is also comes under the er, so it gives the same meaning in taller and bigger, so it is also one morpheme. But this is not the morpheme because it does not give the same meaning. So that means the principle first underscore the morpheme as a minimal stable unit of meaning and form. So a foundation for rigorous morphological analysis. It is particularly relevant in languages with regular or invariant affixes. So this means so it is particularly relevant in language with regular or invariant affixes where the morpheme has with the high phonemic consistency. So in many languages we have the regular past morpheme, we have the regular plural morpheme, we have the regular progressive morpheme, and we have the many regular agentive morpheme. Like in Urdu, we have painter, trader, director, dancer, smoker. So this kind of ER, which give the common meaning of agentive. So that means in language we have very regular forms. So these regular forms can be considered as the single morpheme if they are occurring across many words. Means they are occurring in lots of words in a language regularly, and they have the same form and give the same meaning. So like the er can be sometimes the give so in this form the first form er give the meaning of adjective like in dancer, smoker, drinker, painter, trader. But in this form er give the meaning of origin like foreigner, villager. So this kind of meaning. So the one form if village, and sometimes er actually give the meaning of comparative like taller, faster, bigger. In plural, like we have the plural voiceless only consonant like cats, books, maps, lips. So in all these form, it give the meaning of plural. This as, but if there is some voice consonant like the dogs, so the form will be changed. So it will so there in this condition the principal one will not apply because in principal one the phonemic form should be same in all their occurrence and the meaning should be same. But if you have the example dogs, so the sa becomes za because of some phonological condition, so it will so the phonemic so the principal one could not apply for this example. And for third person singular we have like walks, he kicks, and he sits. So like this kind of example, so sa has similar function across the example. And the progressive we have running, jumping, eating, sleeping. So ing give the meaning of progressive in all their ingredients. So these are the examples of principal one. And now we have some Urdu Hindi example. So they have the identical form, phonemic form, and they give the same constant meaning in all their occurrence. So these are so this is the principal one for identification of morpheme. So the first morpheme in Urdu is E. So like we have the example like kitab become kitabi. So this suffix e actually used for the form the adjective meaning related to or the pertaining to without phonemic change. So when we are making the adjective from the noun, so we are using the same e. So it gives the meaning of pertaining to or sometimes the related to. So like the kitab become kitabi, deen become dini, ilm become ilmi. And in some specific Hindi example, we have dharm into dharmic, so gyan into gyanic. So here we have the ik. So this e and ik. So these are the same morpheme. So they occurring in different words in the same form and give the same meaning. So that is the considered as one morpheme. And we have some for the feminine for making the feminine gender from the masculine. So we have the same e. We are adding the same e from ladka to ladki, from ghoda to ghodi, from bakra to bakri. So that we are adding the same e to making the feminine gender. So the e give the same meaning and the same occurrence. So e give the meaning of feminine gender and it occurs across means it occurs in many different environment or we can with many different words with the same phonemic form. The same phonemic form give the same meaning of feminine gender. We have some derived plural suffix at. So it is actually borrowed from the Persian or derived from the Persian. So it indicating the meaning of plural and showing the complete phonemic and semantic consistency. So for making the plural, we can use this at in Urdu Hindi, and it has the same form in all their occurrence and give the same meaning like zarurat becomes zaruriyat, ibadat become ibadat, riwayat become riwayat, barkat become barkat, and khidmat become khidmat. So all these occurrence, the at give the same meaning and it has the same form. So this is called the principal one. So we can apply the principal one here for this example also. And we have some Hindi example like likh become lekhak, path become pathak. So ak is actually give the same meaning and that is the meaning of means the denote the performer or the doer of action that give the meaning of doer of action that is the agent. And we have the another example like pan in Urdu. So pan can occur like bacha, bachpan, jawanipan, ladakpan, achhapan, burapan. So pan give the same meaning, that the meaning denoting the state of or quality to an abstract noun. So it occur in the same form and it gives the same meaning in all their occurrence. So we can say that it is also a one morpheme. So if we summarize this principle one, so it identifies the morpheme based on the uniformity of meaning and the uniformity of phonemic form, means the uniformity in sound on the form. So like we have the example like ER, ING, Urdu E and At. Hindi, in particular Hindi we have Ak and Pan is actually occur in both Urdu and Hindi. So they occur constantly with same form and with give the same meaning and function in the language. So they can consider as a one morpheme. Now come to the principle two. So the principle two means the forms which possess a common semantic distinctiveness. Mean the form give the same meaning but differ in phonemic form constitute a single morpheme. So that means the form might be differ, means there we have some allomorphic variation, means the form could be the different in the different environment due to the phonological change, but the meaning should be the same. So that things consider as one morpheme, or that morpheme consider as a one morpheme it if it gives the same meaning in different occurrence, but the form might be changed due to the phonological condition. Like, and it provided that the distribution of the formal differences can be phonologically defined. Means the all their change in the form in different occurrence or in different environment. So these changes can be phonologically defined. So that is the second principle. So that particular morpheme is called, so that particular form can be considered as a morpheme. So like principle 2 builds upon the principle 1 by introducing the concept of allomorphs. So in the principle 1 we have the same thing, like there is same meaning in all their occurrence and the same form. So that is the one morpheme. But here meaning is same but the form might be different due to the phonological condition. So that is the one morpheme. So the phenomena where a single morpheme appears in multiple phonemic shades while preserving an identical semantic or grammatical function, means their meaning on their function should be the same in all their occurrence, but their form is different due to the phonological condition. So according to the Nida, such variants share the common semantic distinctiveness, mean the same meaning in all their occurrence. That meaning that despite the surface differences, means the phonological form is different in their in all their occurrence. So their distribution to meaning remains constant. Means even though there is a different in the form, but the meaning is not changed. Meaning is constant in all their occurrence. So like we have the example for plural marking for negation. So it has different form, but the meaning should be the same. So the variant occurs in phonemic form, that is the arrangement or the quality of sound, but this variant must be phonologically predictable rather than arbitrary. So in this particular principle, in the principle 2, when we have the change in the form and that change is phonologically defined, so that means it is phonologically predictable, means it is not random. The change is not random in principle 2. The change is phonologically defined. Like sometime there is some change due to the some assimilation process, means the one sound change because of the adjacent sound. Sometimes there is some elision process, the deletion when we are joining some plural or some past morpheme, so there is some sound might be deleted. And sometimes there is some epenthesis. Epenthesis means there are some insertion of the sound because of the joining of the two morpheme or the joining of the bond morpheme, the pre-morpheme. So that means all their differences in the form is systematic and rule governed. And the malumos are also in complementary distribution, means when the one form occurs in particular one environment, so other form cannot occur in that particular environment. So in the other environment we have another form because of the phonologically conditioned. So like we know, we have discussed many times the example of assimilation and phonological condition. Like we have the example of sa, za, and is. So these are the different representation of same morpheme sa. So that is the plural morpheme. So plural morpheme has three different representations: sa, za, is, and that occurs after the voiceless sound, and that occur after the voice sound. It occurs the is occur after the sibilant sound. Like in the cats, we have sa. In the dogs, we have za. And in buses, we have is, buses. So these are the examples of this allomorphs. So that these are the different forms. So this is the example of for principle 2. Means the form are different, but they are giving the same meaning. And we have many examples for this illustration. For negation, we have in English different types of negation. So like we have in negation in, we have im, and we have ill, and we have ir. So the basic negation for all their differences is in. Like inaccurate. So we have the example like inaccurate. So it becomes the inaccurate. And when we are having the another types of morpheme like regular. So in the example of in plus regular, so it become irregular. So there is the ir form for the negation. And when we have the possible, so in plus possible, it becomes the impossible. Impossible. Or when we have the logical, so become illogical. So these are the different phonemic form. So, but this difference is phonologically conditioned. So we have the condition for this. So because of ra, the na change into the ra. Because of the following pa, the na change into the ma. Or in like in plus logical, so the it become the illogical. Illogical. So here the na change into the la because of the following la sound. So we can say that there is a different form for the negation in Urdu, like in, im, il, and ir, and all these forms are phonologically defined. And but they all form give the same meaning of negation. Like in the inaccurate, impossible, illegal, irregular. So they give the same meaning of negation. So it actually used for the principle 2. So that means principle 2 said that the meaning is same in all their occurrence, but the form may be changed because of the phonological condition or because of the phonological condition. So we have the different form of sa, that is the sa, za, is. So sa occur after the voiceless sound in the cats and lips. Za occur after the voiced sound in the word dogs and pens, and is occur after the sibilant sound in churches, in judges, in classes, in buses. And same form with ed. So ed has three different forms. One is ta, and there is da, and id. But it gives the same meaning of past tense. So in the verb, it occurs as ta. In played, it occurs as da. In wanted, it occurs as id. So after the voiceless sound, it occurs as ta, and after the voice sound, it occurs as da. So that is phonological condition. So there are different forms, but they give the same meaning. So in Urdu, Hindi, we have some allomorphic variation. So we have already discussed. So for example, we have in ladka into ladke, we have the a for the plural. In ladki into ladkiyan, we have ya is the plural. And in the oblique form, kitab, ladka and ladko, or kitab and kitabo means लड़कों को and किताबों को, so in the oblique when it is followed by some postposition. So the plural ladke become ladkon ne ya ladkon ke. So that is the O. So these three representation of same plural morpheme in Urdu. So the plural morpheme has these three representation due to their phonological condition. When the last sound is a, so the we have a plural marker. When the last sound is e, so we have ia plural marker. And when there is some postposition, so that could be the grammatical condition. So when there is some postposition, so the ladke change into the ladko. So these are the regular plural morpheme, but we have different types of plural morpheme. So the different types of representation for plural morpheme, but they give the same meaning of pluralness. So it is the as example of from Urdu Hindi for the principle two. So principle two said we have different phonemic form, but the meaning should be the same, or the function should be the same. So in Urdu Hindi we have another allomorph in some in terms of, so ka has three representation, that is one is ka, ki and k. So like when the noun is masculine, so it becomes like bacche ka khilona, and when the noun is feminine, so it is ladki ki kitab. So it depends on this following noun, bacche ka khilona and बच्चे की किताब और लड़की की किताब और बच्चों के कपड़े. So this, so that is the different representation of ka genitive marker. So it is actually the grammatically defined. Means it is the different representation of same form ka, that is the genitive marker or the possessive case, but it has the same meaning or the same function. We can say the same function, but the form is different. And this form, the difference is phonologically or grammatically defined. It is actually grammatically defined. And in the same way we have like वो काम करता है and वो काम करती है. So the ta and ti for the aspect marking, so that is for the imperfect or habitual aspect. So that change, and it gives the same meaning. So that is the meaning of habitual aspect or the imperfective aspect. But this meaning is actually grammatically conditioned. That is the gender conditioned allomorphs. Means when the subject is masculine, then we have ta. When subject is feminine, so then we have ti. And it has also te. When the subject is plural, लड़के and लड़कियां काम करते हैं. So that differences as actually gender and gender plus number agreement. So that is, we have the different forms, but it gives the same meaning of past, imperfect and habitual aspect. So for the future tense marker, we have ga or gi according to the gender-based phonological variation. So this is also, we have different form like ga, gi, ge, but it gives the same meaning. The meaning of future. So when we summarize this principle two, so across both English and Urdu or Hindi data, the principle two demonstrate a single morpheme may have multiple surface serialization. Means the variation in their occurrence due to some phonological or morphological condition. But the meaning is same. The semantically they are identical. So these allomorphs reflect the systematic interaction between the morphology and phonology that promote ease to articulation without affecting the meaning. So that is the one morpheme, even though they have the different realization in their occurrence, but the meaning is same. So we can call it the same morpheme, like saza is the same morpheme of the plural. Like saza is the same morpheme for the plural.